fear and keep hope alive. Be the change that you want to see. Be the wrench inside the machine. Is it already over? Is it already over? I don't think it's over. Hey everybody, welcome to Saturday night, Small Town Underground with the Lowdown. We have Antonio Jones from War Room, Georgia, joining us this evening. And this was, we didn't advertise this. We just been talking, and we want to try to do this like once a month. We talk a lot. We talk with you guys a lot, and we just wanted to kind of do a catch-all episode. There's so much going on. And we talk all the time. So welcome to the show tonight. So I have not been able to share it with the groups yet because Facebook, it continues to do funky things with our social media. And just as an example, I didn't even have a share function on my phone, so I couldn't even flip it over to groups. It does now, but I'm looking for all kinds of little censorship, creatures to start, coming in on us soon, sooner than later. So, welcome tonight.
Creatures. Yeah.
How are you doing?
Hey, man. We letting the people in on. We do talk a lot offline, and I purposely didn't call you today because I figured we just have our phone conversation on the air tonight.
Yes.
I thought that would be a good thing. So it's Saturday Night Live, Small Town Underground with Roy Hambrick. I'm glad to be here.
Love it, man. So we didn't talk today. I was telling you before I started the show, which there's so much to unpack there. We don't even have to go into it. But I watched this podcast that I've never seen a full, like I wasn't even subscribed to this comedian Dave Smith. I've seen him on all kinds of stuff, but the first thing that popped up on YouTube was Nick Fuentes now is becoming this kind of uncaged tiger that we've all had this sort of we've all been sort of told what kind of person he is, and very, very polarizing person. And Dave Adams being Jewish, and so they did a podcast together 3 days ago. They've done several, actually. But it's 3.5 hours long, and I thought, I'm going to play this in the background to see what it is, and I got totally captivated. I'm like 2 hours and 25 minutes into it, and I mean, it's like some of the most real talk that you're ever going to find two people in such a crazy time right now talking. And anyway, so it's on my mind, hot and heavy. They're saying all the things that I think in my mind, whether it's about Trump, Vance, about this whole Israel thing, where we're at with wars. So it's just wild. We're in some crazy times. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I don't know where to start. There was a post I was telling you about before we went live, and let me see who posted that thing. Did I close it? Okay, here it is.
Okay.
Someone by the name of Milo. I guess this goes up under the X handle is
Milo Yiannopoulos.
Milo is at Nero.
Yep, that's Milo Yiannopoulos.
Okay, so I don't even think I follow his page. Just one of them things that popped up.
Did you know he worked for Marjorie Taylor Greene at one time? He actually worked on her campaign, re-election campaign.
I didn't. Yeah. But this Israel thing is floating around hot and heavy.
Yeah.
And his comment was, it said, Turning Point will be dead in 18 months if it doesn't catch up to its own audience on the Israel question. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you saw Glenn Beck was kind of on the back eye turned up on high. There was a young student that was asking him some questions about, was he, America first, and how does that look, with providing aid to other countries. And I don't know, man, he might have got a little toasted and
Yeah.
by this young kid. And these the cool thing is the kids are dialed in on these issues politically now more than ever that I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty amazing that they know the issues. There was one kid, he knew the history behind different issues and wars, and just a whole bunch of different things. But I think this thing kind of blindsided Glenn Beck to a point to where he had to come out on social media and say, "Hey, this is what I was trying to describe," or whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. This is a hot topic right now.
It is. Certainly, I've thought a lot about this because of this whole anti-Semitism thing and how the controlled narrative. You got to think, and this is something that I saw on this podcast. They talk about Benjamin Netanyahu's been in power for a long time, and without the wars, his own people would be trying to throw him out. The Israeli people for a long time have jailed their representatives for a lot less than what Benjamin Netanyahu has done. And I believe that when we talk about this, we're talking about the Netanyahu regime, the government regime that's clawing for this power. And you can't, and you also can't give America a free pass because Israel alone can't carry out these attacks and do these things that they can do without America. So in a lot of ways, we're sort of responsible for a lot of the unrest that's happened in the Middle East and in Israel, around the world, because we're such an integral part. We're very the most powerful nation. So I just this whole cat is letting out of the bag now, and largely due to because I don't think if you had controlled media, like we've been under, right, you could maintain this sort of Israel status quo. But when you have people that are just trying to talk truth and trying to figure out what the heck is going on, there's no way that anybody could just be okay with what has been going on,
Yeah, well, I think our country has been I want to say irresponsible on some levels. I described it to a couple other people, and maybe even we've had this conversation. We if this is the case, we want to help protect the Israeli people. I believe in doing that. But we must be able to do more than one thing at a time. We have a country here, and we're like to our leadership, we're kind of like the children of the leadership, and there are things here that need to be taken care of, and we're kind of busting at the seams and stuff. And then it's like, okay, I know you guys got this going on, but wait a minute, hold on, I'm gonna put these billions over here. And people are like, wait a minute, hold on, what's going on here?
Yeah.
We got to be able to do more than one thing at a time. And I believe that is also putting fuel on that fire. And and to your point earlier, if I'm not mistaken, there was a lot of protests and stuff going on prior to October 7th.
There
And I
was.
think that Netanyahu could have possibly been facing some criminal corruption charges or whatever the case may be. Then all of a sudden we got October 7th, and which I believe that was a stand down. And then we got a whole nother situation going on now. We got to go over here and bomb. And then instead of him getting voted out of office or however they do their thing over there, them having an opportunity to elect another leader and put them in there. Like you said, you need the war to keep this thing going on. And then the people that's kind of knows this is like, okay, what's the difference between Zelensky now and the way that secular leadership is acting and this particular secular leadership?
Sure.
And, I think the jig is up. Obviously, all the stuff that's, floating around on the internet. And I think that they need a better leader who is really going to advocate to protect them and not be getting into this corrupt stuff. That's just my whole view on it.
I agree with you. Again, you look at, you brought up Russia and Ukraine. There's so much of this nuance that goes around, and part of that control narrative, that fear, is people want you to choose a side. Like, for example, if you question Israel, and I posted this the other night, I'm like, because I'm asking a question about the Israeli government, does that mean that I'm a pro Hamas? Like, it's that cut and dry? Like, that is ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous to think that I'm going to support something one over the other. And, I do believe that it's a little dangerous, and I've said this, that I just plain out don't care, right? Because as an American, I think we have to care to a degree, because it's our own government that has created these disasters, created these scenarios, right? We can't just say we don't care about the Middle East when we're the ones that went in and color revolution and Arab Spring them. It's our responsibility to own that and to hold our representatives accountable.
Yeah,
But
I mean, the destabilization with 9/11.
yeah,
The false flag of that. It's right
exactly.
back to the Middle East, destabilizing the area.
Yeah, what did we do? We 9/11. Yeah, we went to, it was Saudi Arabia, but then or Iraq, but then we went to Afghanistan to hunt Osama bin Laden and created a 20-year war, which was a huge debacle. What I'm saying is like, of course, they embedded the word terrorism, into our soil, and I do believe we have a problem. But again, where are we at now? While all this was going on, our borders were left open. Our institutions were left to bring these enemies into our own country that hate us and want to set up a completely secular government, or under all this crazy religious control. And it's like, what were we thinking? What were we doing when we were celebrating the Patriot Act as something actually patriotic? I mean, there's so many levels here that we look back and see like the corruption has been there for so long. The transformation of our country into, the one world government, which is their ultimate push. But again, it's like, I don't think you're going to be able to convince anybody else that it's just okay to, have any other nation state, govern the United States of America. And, we have Donald Trump to thank in a lot of ways from that, because his entire America First movement is partly what's spawned this on. But just like you brought up, October 7th, people scratching their head. We see Netanyahu actively calling for a war on social media, which I'd like to get into in a little bit. I mean, you can't unsee these things. I watched the video the other day about
$7,000 for a post. I mean, all this
yes.
stuff happening at one time, and all of a sudden, Marjorie Greene's the worst person in the world.
Yeah, Thomas Massey.
It's like,
yeah, Ron Paul all of a sudden is a horrible person, but as long as he was talking about the Fed, it was okay. We see these things now, and people like,
and what Marjorie's fought for, it's been the same since forever ago. So I mean, people saying, "Oh, well, Marjorie Greene," and she's not even my representative, but I'm sitting back on watching this stuff and saying, "Whoa, well, she's turned her back on Trump." I'm like, how? I mean, what is she saying that's like against the Trump agenda? What she's been asking for is what she's always asked for, is to deliver on the president's executive orders. Let's codify this stuff into law, so that when he leaves, this stuff can, be cemented in the order that he asked for. I don't see anything being anti-Trump about that.
No, I'd say it, but it's anti-Republican, and that's why they're allowed to go this rhetoric, because the Republican Party is scared of that kind of talk, because we have a whole lot of neocons. We have people that are bought and paid for, and they serve another master, and they cannot talk like that. They can't vote like that. So they're deathly scared of these people that speak out against it, and it's a shame, because it's going to continue to be hard to push us in that right direction. I think, because I don't think we have anybody with enough backbone to do it.
So I know you say this all the time, and I think we feel the same sentiment about the Republican Party here in Georgia. Is this? I mean, are we basically looking at a national, basically a national version of that, to where most of the Republican Party has deemed itself useless because they've become more interested in getting reelected and satisfying their corporate donors and everything like that, to a point to where they're willing to starve out the president right now
Mm.
and use the time clock against him, is what I kind of believe is going on right now, so they can get themselves right back in that position of actually being victims and actually not being in power, so that they can raise more money and stuff. That's something I think you mentioned the other day when we was on the phone.
Yeah.
Is that the position they want to be in, and that where they never actually deliver?
Huh. Well, I mean, look at the campaign rhetoric, right? Let's talk about Georgia for a second, and I'm not. Let's keep names out of it. You've got one candidate, of course, and we talk about it. They are offering quid pro quos. You've got other candidates that they're not telling you what they're going to do. They're taking all of the hot button issues and say, I was against trans in 1907, or they're saying I was MAGA before Donald Trump was born. I don't want to hear that crap, okay? What I want to hear is, what are you going to do that's different from what we have now, or are we just going to continue this this clown show, right? You're just vying for that position because you think you're next in line. Like, where does the line draw? It's nothing new under the sun. We've discussed it for a year, man. Golden age. We want change, and we want it now. We want to fix these things. There's very simple solutions that can be done, yet the Republican Party continues to placate and not want to do any of it. Now, behind closed doors, what do? Oh, they'll come up to you and I agree with 100% with what you're saying. You are spot on. You guys are spot on. But get them out in public, or when the limelight shines on them, and they're just sitting there like running away. We've got to stop this. We need a solid consensus of people that understand what the problem is and see the solution to fix it and just do it. And I don't know that we're going to get that in Georgia or anywhere, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get it, because by now they know what the people are asking for. They've asked for election integrity and security. They've asked for what's the next thing?
Well, let me
tax.
give you
Go ahead.
Let me give you a perfect example of election security. Now, we know what we want. We want hand-marked, hand-counted paper ballots on the precinct level. We want all 159 counties to be able to count these ballots and count them responsibly. And if they're not, we hold each county responsible. We can get into this whole Dominion being bought out by Liberty, Patriot, blah, blah, blah. But let's just put it this example. I wanted a GOP or Republican Party. If Brian Kemp come out tomorrow and held a press conference and said, guys, we're going to go to paper ballots. I was wrong, and we've been screwing everybody and blah, yada, yada. Do you think that the Republican Party would stay silent about that? Or do you think that they would create these wonderful letters of disclaimer saying, we've got it, folks, we're going to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to happen. But we know that that's the right way to move forward with election security, right? So what we see is sort of a baseless Republican Party that are too scared to come out and stand on what the right thing is. So they're going to keep quiet about it. In other words, people know exactly how this stuff needs to be fixed, but they're too afraid to lose their power, their stature, to stand out, even if they got an army of people that are behind them. And so you can see this control structure, right? Well, then you start seeing, okay, well, they're controlled by this entity, that entity, this corporate entity, this money people, just like TPUSA, right? That we're now figuring out. So again, I'm not interested in sitting on the sidelines and just pretending like everything's hunky-dory. We either move forward and we fix it the right way, or we've got nothing.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you, Roy, maybe you know the answer to the question, maybe you don't. Because I've asked before, as far as about the election machines, they're saying, oh, well, we got a contract to so and so and so and so. And I'm like, so just give the folks their money, whatever it is, whatever the balance is, and give the people what they're asking for. This is the people's taxpayers' money. So if we asking for it, we're obviously saying, hey, We don't care if it's another 10 or 15 million or whatever it is over the million. We think our elections need to
Yeah.
be secure, and we don't care about that.
I think you could get a consensus in this state that our 16, $18 billion surplus, we could pay off that contract pretty easy and go back to paper ballots.
Yeah,
But
just tell them, hey, go away. Here you go.
well, Georgia continues to be the one state that just bucks everything and says, no, we're going to do it our own way. We're going to keep it. I mean, you've got an attorney general, worthless, I might add, state attorney general is running for office. Already lost a federal lawsuit over the stupidest thing. And then you've got your Secretary of State now who has, there's been a public resolution by the Republican Party to not allow him to run as a Republican because he's not, which is not being honored. We'll get into that later or tomorrow. But again, we still are one of the, I'm not saying the only, but one of the only states that still have a full-blown contract with a company for election software and machinery that was not only sold to a venture capitalist firm, Staple Street, but now is going to be repackaged as some sort of GOP ex-Liberty man, and we're gonna put some brand new shine on Dominion, y'all. We're going to get it right. And the people clearly do not want that, and we're not buying it anymore. They keep playing these old tricks and just thinking we're going to fall for it. And, I don't understand it.
Well, somebody that's saying they a GOP that will actually buy this. Just it tells us everything we need to know.
You're right
about the Republican Party. I mean, just
sure.
Overall. And this is not, we're not saying everybody in the Republican Party is bad or whatever, but just think about that.
Mm-hmm.
We have been groveling. 2020 election was stolen. These elections been stolen for years.
That's right.
But we all knew it happened in 2020. That's what even got me online and even interested in politics, because I sat right there and watched it happen.
Yep.
So how could somebody from somebody say they GOP buy this company unless they had the intention on buying this thing, having a big bonfire and melting these things down and burning them up, saying, hey, we're going out of business.
Sure.
We shutting this thing down. I don't see how that even make any sense.
Well, I mean, if you can prove that already the proof is that evidence that the Dominion voting systems were hooked up to servers in Venezuela and other countries. We know that all of this information is being rerouted to foreign entities alone. So that completely discredits it. And furthermore, this whole push is because they don't want to go to paper ballots. They don't want to do anything to change. They want to keep this electronic machinery, and they're just trying to rebrand it. And it's sad because take Fulton County, Georgia, for example. We still, our own state government still, our laws, justice system in the state is still not held Fulton County accountable, even with electronic voting. We still have not been able to get in that county, Floyd County, different counties. What makes you think that they would change anything, even with a new system? I mean, even if you went to a paper ballot system, which scares the heck out of them, because that would put the responsibility back on the election boards in each county. But we're being hijacked by certain counties based on the political affiliation, and we've got nobody up there in our corner that's fighting for us.
Yeah.
So it's wild stuff, man.
We got SB 221, which I believe Gooch was the architect of, where the governor and these leadership PACs can raise an unlimited amount of money in and out of session. Sure. And they all signed on to this legislation and passed it and created the money boogeyman. And now it's like everybody's afraid of their own shadow down there. I don't feel sorry for these guys at all, Roy, because they helped usher the beast in.
Well, they knew what they were doing. If you look at the federal lawsuit that Chris Carr actually filed, and the judge's rebuttal to that, they struck it down, but the judge even admitted that if it were basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but if it were up to her, she would be arguing the constitutionality of the law to begin with. And I think that is hilarious that a judge would even bring that up, because what does that make? Oh, this law is unconstitutional, right? I mean, they knew what they were doing, and Chris Carr knew what he was doing when he was supporting it. I mean, of course they did.
He didn't step in.
No.
I mean, the Attorney General, the Lieutenant Governor, these are all elected positions.
Mm-hmm.
That means that they are supposed to operate in their own capacity and answer to who? Their constituents. We're not getting that.
Oh
You know,
no.
the legislature is the same as the governor's office now.
Sure.
Oh, that ain't what Kent want. No, that's not how it's set up. You
Right.
are the legislative branch. What if the governor is off? You need to be trying to meet with him, talk to him, and get him right before you have to go to the sticks in front of the people and do a press conference and say, hey, what the governor wants or what he's doing is not in line with the Constitution and what
Right.
our constituency asking us. This thing was never designed the way that they're operating it.
Oh no,
Roy.
not for years. In fact, you go back and you read from the beginning, the Hank Sullivan, all about how we used to have these out. It was an independent election board, you know, in Kennesaw State University, and everything was hunky dory. You had a complete sort of sidearm, and how they eradicated every bit of that and brought it under the Gold Dome, and now they control every single aspect of it. And even the state election board, we all know that the Waffle King is been appointed. He's been put there to just be a block on anything that would move it forward. We know now that the GOP is a lot like that, right? It's just a block. It's what we all feared. So again, where do you go in this when you have a governor who has brought this outside guy, this Dooley character, to run for state senate despite anything going on anywhere? He's just, this is who it's going to be, boys. You know, and it's like, you really expect me to just take this guy seriously? This is the shape we're in. I don't think they give two craps about us, or I mean, they obviously can't. They could care less.
Yeah, they don't have to. All this stuff go back into the stolen elections.
Right. But here's the time for some of these other candidates to start shining, right? Stop with the I'm Trump, I'm MAGA all the way. Stop with it. Show us what you're all about. Show us what you're capable of, because at this point in time, you have a very large disgruntled voter base who doesn't hardly even care about voting anymore, because so much has come out about our voting system anyway. It's deemed almost pointless. It's almost deemed pointless. Now, I'm not trying to be that guy that said, oh, you shouldn't vote. That, you know, I got my opinions on that. But again, if we continue to use these fraudulent election systems, and we continue to get these, excuse my language, but these shitty people that they're propping up,
yep,
and throwing it down our throats like they're going to be I mean, what is the point?
They just want somebody in there in an empty suit, Roy.
That's it.
Hey, you remember, because I guess during my I was supposed to be introducing the senator from Northwest Georgia, but went into a speech, you know, during the thing. Yeah. But I was saying, hey, look, you know, they don't care. I mean, they want you to come in. Hey, sit down over here. Shut up. We're gonna tell you how to vote, and if you don't, we'll put you in timeout. Yeah. And how dare you stand up and use a point, you know, your privileged time to speak your mind and exercise your free speech? We'll arrest you and put you in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where we at, Roy. This is mafia
and you know,
stuff.
A funny thing, I know you keep up with Owen Shroyer. He's started his new show. I got super excited the other day because he's actually going to be in South Carolina. I need to reach out to Zoe Warren, because he's going to be up there helping the candidate run against Lindsey Graham, and I was just elated. I was like, this is awesome, because if Lindsey Graham is like the poster child for the Republican Party, then I want to run away from all of this as fast as I can. He's a total neocon. He's probably got a little sugar in his gas tank anyway, that he ought to just come out and admit it. I don't care. But you know what I'm saying? The guy is a abomination of what a leader or an elected official should be. And I am so stoked that people are taking a vested interest in removing that man. And, you know, is that all it takes for Donald Trump, is just to send him a little love letter and say, hey, you're the greatest things in sliced bread, and he automatically likes you? I don't know. But that was, to me, that was a bad pick on his part.
It was, man. Speaking of which, the health thing that came out, I know you probably read it. hey, but the president's got a great bill of health, da 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 da. And it goes on down and say, oh, by the way, he got a flu shot and then a COVID booster or something. I'm like, what in the world? Are
Was
we
this? I didn't see this.
Crazy town?
I didn't see this.
You didn't see that?
No.
Oh yeah.
You're talking about
yeah.
recently?
Yeah,
You're
recently.
saying President Trump got a COVID booster?
Yeah, that was yesterday. And I'm saying to myself, man, look,
man, he's gonna take Operation Warp Speed to the grave with him. I'm telling you. Good God.
He killing me, Roy. And then I was asking the question: what was the point of pulling out of the WHO? Yeah. And then you turn around, okay, people still arguing back and forth. Well, yeah, we're gonna do. He's doing a drug thing or whatever, where Pfizer comes in and they're gonna do a $70 billion deal. People still arguing, and now this,
yeah,
because I was already mad about even putting some more money back into the pockets of Pfizer. This was the whole point, in my opinion, to why I was glad he pulled out of the WHO, because we needed to fund that crowd.
Yeah.
But then we give him a $70 billion deal.
Wow.
And then here you are with an endorsement, in my opinion, by saying you took the booster. And look at all this information, folks dropping dead and all kind of stuff. And he taking the booster or saying he did.
Now, hold on a second. Hold on a second. You're talking about Donald Trump. Are you trying to tell me, are you anti-Trump now? Are you anti-MAGA? Have you went dark MAGA?
Yeah, I'm dark. Me and Marjorie Green, we teamed up and we said we're going to take down the MAGA and Trump. Yeah. We hate Trump now and all this.
Oh, yeah. Stuff. You're just automatic. You're an anti-Trumpite now, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. See, people need to wake up and realize that Donald Trump needs to be criticized just like anybody else for.
This ain't no 4D chest and all that, man. Come on.
No, and I think that's what scares people, dude, is people are afraid of the truth. The truth can be very ugly sometimes, right? And people want hope. And this is what I believe a lot of the Q stuff was all about, and still to this day. And I'm not taking anything away. I hear the rumors now that it's coming and the EBS is going to go off. We're going to have 10 days of silence and all this stuff. Look, I'm not trying. Nobody's trying to take anybody's hope away. We're infinitely in a better position with Donald Trump as president. Couldn't ask for a better position. However, you have to understand that the enemies of our state know this very well. And when you talk about psychological warfare, don't think for a second that they can't figure out Donald Trump and how to butter up to him and usher in the very things that we continue to fight against.
Well, you said it perfect, Roy. When we was on the phone the other day, you was like, okay, they tried to steal the election. That didn't work. Mm-hmm. They tried to put the man in jail. That didn't work. Then they shot at him a couple of times, maybe some other times tried to kill him. That didn't work. So what did they do next? They figured out, hey, he's not going anywhere, so we got to cozy up.
Yep.
We butter him up. Hey, tell him it's great. Oh, you're the greatest thing and all of that. And now here we are, a COVID booster.
They went down to the Walgreens. They got a big old box of chocolates. They walked in the White House and said, "You are the best thing I've ever seen." And he said, "Come over here, let's talk." I don't know. Come over here, sit down with me. Sit down with me, Bill Gates. Oh, you like me? What kind of meat what kind of meat you smoking there? I mean, seriously, guys.
I hope we're all learning a valuable lesson here because let's go back. The founders fled because they wanted to have a voice. They got tired of the tyranny that they was living in. So we're going to sit back and let one person, that's not how it's supposed to be. Our voices got to be heard. Trump's doing some good stuff, but it's like if he starts going off, careening off in the ditch or heading towards the ditch, we're going to say, hey, like Roy said, oh, Donald Trump's driving. We don't need to know. We need to let our voice be heard and get this steering wheel and get him back on, because usually when the public is able to get to him and get him information, he usually does the right thing. And that's what I like about Trump. But I believe he got some bad people around him still, man. I do.
I do too. I think we've got a major institutional problem. And I like to believe that Kash Patel is working through it with the FBI. I'd like to believe that, I just like to believe that we've got things working in the right direction, and we've got a lot. Don't get me wrong, we got so many things going on, so many irons in the fire, because one thing we can all agree is Donald Trump shut the borders back down and got us back into a situation where we're not getting flooded, right? But now we're in this predicament with ICE and with bringing these National Guard into the cities. And I was vocal about it at first about like, hey, we need to slow down. And my reasoning for that was very simple. God help us if a Democrat ever got back in charge, right? That's where our rock and a hard place comes to. But obviously, we cannot let our cities fall. I don't know if you watched that Tucker Carlson the other day, but it was very powerful, a very powerful perspective into the cities and why it's important to protect them. And I agree with that, right? We've got a lot of irons in the fire right now, and a lot of upset people, and we have our culture is so divided, So I'm not throwing blame on Trump. He's got a lot to deal with, but again, who are the people around him that's really leading, guiding, and directing him? I think back to Doge, how it's become a joke now. Doge is a joke. I mean, you had the people fired up for it, and now it's just like another moot point. What happened to the Department of Education? Where is that at? The Epstein list. Like, how on earth do you even maneuver through that debacle? Like,
yep.
And there's just so many different things. And then, Trump took a booster shot the other day.
Man,
and we're in the middle of
RFK
Jr.
getting lit up on the internet about that right now. I mean, it's just been all day.
I have not. It's one thing I haven't done has been on the internet.
When I see something like that, Roy, my brain processes is no accountability for Fauci, no accountability for Bill Gates, and then all the people that has got injured. There's a lady on my page, and plus I know 5 people personally that fell and broke bones after they this COVID situation. This thing is serious, and people need to be held accountable.
Well,
and for them to put that out today, it just tells me, it illustrates to me how far are away from accountability for those guys. $70 billion for them to still get some money, and then you turn around and put this out. If you took the COVID booster, why anybody didn't even know it? Let us find out later or whatever. We will hope to pray for the president and nothing happens to him if he did take it. But that don't make no sense to me.
No, who is he trying to signal to? Anyway, I mean, tell us. I still have not watched it yet. I started it the other night, but as you know, I'm a little busy right now. We got family issues, and I'm kind of double timing it. But tell us about that InfoWars segment the other day, because it's still something I need to watch. But about COVID and about the how these things is nanotechnology. There's nanotechnology in this stuff that can be activated in things.
Oh yeah. All right. So a couple years ago, well, a lot of people know I had long COVID and all this other stuff. So I decided to start looking up, because something just kind of out of nowhere said, look up the fact to see if these lipid nanoparticles particularly would respond to radio frequency, because I was one of them ones that was looking into the heart machine or whatever and how it used these big radio signals, to manipulate the weather before they was, I guess, using Doppler or whatever the case may be. And then I always thought back, and this might be kind of a little juvenile in thinking, but back to cartoons when we was growing up, there was always some evil villain, and they had this big tower. You could see the signals and stuff coming out, and all of a sudden people are hypnotized. And I'm thinking, these people is not too far off from being like evil and sinister. So I was like, let me look up and see if lipid nanoparticles, which are inside of these vaccines, will respond to radio frequencies. And lo and behold, it did. So I took those articles and the patents and everything. And at the time, Dr. Naomi Wolf, who's been, her and her COVID team uncovered a lot of stuff about the vaccines and everything after the jabs and stuff started coming out. They was the ones going through the data and all of that. So I emailed it to her, and I never got a response back. So I'm watching Alex Jones a few days ago, and lo and behold, he had a scientist come on there. They got a whole documentary coming out on this thing about how radio frequencies can manipulate things in these injections when they get into your body. They're basically trying to be able to set up, give people like this a MAC address. So when you do like your internet or whatever the case may be, and you're trying to get on a Wi-Fi, they're trying to give people MAC addresses and Wi-Fi signals from their body.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy was actually able to use this particular signal finder in inside of people who has taken this jab. They have a MAC address.
Mm.
So he also looked up the frequency because if your cell phone is on a frequency right now,
right,
and the government regulates that frequency. So just say, for instance, you got T-Mobile or there's only a certain bandwidth of frequency that those phones can operate within.
That's right.
So these MAC addresses that have been attached to people who have gotten the jab, who are actually emitting like a radio frequency that they can detect from their body.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess where those MAC addresses in that frequency is registered to?
Where?
Was it NATO? Did I tell you that?
You said it was NATO. Yeah, NATO.
It's registered to NATO. Just think about that for a minute.
Well, think about what you talked about, the World Health Organization and NATO, how last couple of years we were faced with the possibility of signing over our medical rights to NATO and the World Health Organization.
Yep.
Kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
It does. And the other thing that they've been trying to do is they're trying to actually be able to read, because our bodies just naturally, without all the other stuff, naturally emit off a frequency.
That's
like
right.
A radio signal. So like this 5G and all of this other stuff and the 5G phones, they're trying to be able to decode what you're feeling like, what you're thinking, what your organs are doing inside of your body. These Apple Watches and stuff that we wear, this is nothing except we're actually training system. Just kind of like when we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook,
yes,
and we having conversations, we're actually training the AI. So we're actually training this next thing to where they're trying to get it to where other people have MAC address. It just kind of blew my mind to like we're all kind of like a node is what they call it.
Yeah, we're an experiment.
Like this cell phone is like a node. It connects to something. They're trying to make your body be able to do that, and it just kind of it blew my mind. And the scientist, the guy that was on the show, he was basically saying when these people take these jabs, these lipid nanoparticles, they will go and concentrate in the areas that in your body that has the most nerve endings, like at the base of your brain stem, and just like it was incredible to watch. So I'm gonna have to get that link to Roy.
Yeah.
That way he can save it in the description. But this is one of the things that they want to do. And if you notice, I don't want to get too far ahead of Roy on this, the data centers, this stuff is going to have a place to be processed in. Okay. So eventually, this was what I was telling Roy. Maybe I'm just going too far 10 forward right now.
No.
If you guys remember programs like Napster, if you stuff like computer networking, local file sharing, local area networks, like in buildings and stuff like that, to where you no longer process anything on that computer itself. You just kind of like have a login, just kind of like Facebook. We just got a login, right? Facebook is actually processing, holding your pictures, and doing all of that, right?
Up in the cloud.
I think the long game for them is to actually try to connect humans to this big, vast networks and use these data centers and stuff. And eventually, because as the demand for processing grows, I don't think these data centers, if they get what they want, is going to be able to keep up with it. So we only actively use what, maybe between 3 and 5% of our conscious brain.
Less than 10, I'd say.
Less than 10. So they will be trying to use us like a processing farm if they're able to get what they want and really get people connected into this system. Yeah. I know I just said a mouthful, but that's my prediction.
I'm telling you, it's the truth. I mean, we were talking about this the other day. Look, the guy that they hired in Georgia, Georgia's ground zero for everything. Oh, our governor, Georgia's going to be number one state for data centers. Right now we're like number 6, and we see the push on these data centers. You had the guy that was getting paid from UGA to go around to all the tea and biscuit, Rotary clubs, and talk to the people, and with his presentation. And this is such an important presentation because you need to know what they're saying. That's the art of war. You need to know what they're saying. And even he in his presentation lays out that the technocratic revolution is the next revolution of humanity, and artificial intelligence will be the next focal point. And what was that lead into when you have things like Neuralink and you have data centers everywhere like this hive mind? You become transhuman, okay? Everything that you're saying, there's another tinfoil hat, one tinfoil hat thing you've said. They have promised us in the white papers.
For everybody that's listening, I'm glad you brought up Neuralink. We used to be literally plugged into like phones and all this other kind of stuff. All of that stuff went away. So I think Neuralink is just like a quick mapping until they can finally get all this other stuff in place to actually be wireless. Because if they can plug something into your brain, if they can get on these radio frequency signals and do the same thing, then the wires will just go away.
Yeah. Of course it will. It's called the Internet of Things. We've heard about it. We've been promised it in white papers. It's the ultimate goal. Our bodies are like batteries. We're walking batteries. We're walking generating frequencies. On a molecular level, our frequencies, they interact with everything. When you get scared, when you feel happy, when you get shivers down your spine, it's all frequencies, and they understand that, and they want to turn us into walking antennas. They really do. Bounce things, just like you said, like a sheriff program. And then what do we have? What is the cloud?
Nothing more than ones and zeros in the system.
That's right. And you look at the cloud. Everything is going cloud-based now, right? So what does that mean? Well, it means, you used to have your own spot. You put your own data and your own stuff. Well, no, they're Walmarting the information where they're going to monopolize it and have it all into the cloud. Everything is going to be into the cloud. So before you know it, all of our stuff will be there. We'll have no control over it, and they can turn it off at the drop of a hat or a snap of a finger. And so, there's a lot to unpack there, but there's a lot of truth to it. I mean, if they had it their way, especially, and we're already 15 years behind China. Obviously, China's at the forefront of this, and I'm sure that scares the bejesus out of America because we have to continue to be America first. Let's not pretend like Russia is not trying to do the same thing. All the superpowers are fueling these data centers and fueling this technology because whoever controls artificial intelligence controls the world. And so, it's not – I want to say that I'm not against technology, neither are you. I'm not against data centers or things. I understand what they are. My problem is that the trajectory that we're on with all this stuff, it is taking over human existence. Okay, right before our very eyes. There's nothing here that shows a balance to humanity. They are full-fledging, full force putting this stuff out, and they are going to drain our resources. And the first thing they're going to do is cut off our resources before they cut off this artificial hive mind.
They will. I mean, if you look at where it's going, okay, if an area or a territory needs more power and they need a nuclear plant, it's be like pulling teeth to try to get it. But if a data center show up and need it, they're going to build that nuclear power plant. So it's like a lot of the farmland and everything has been disappearing, or it's getting harder for farmers and local farmers to farm. Let's look at what they're prioritizing. They're prioritizing things like data centers and these solar panel farms and stuff. That's not going to feed the people.
Right.
That's just going to help us become more of supplicants to the government and inside of the digital prison that they want to build.
Sure.
And I was telling the people up at the camp out last Saturday, it was like, hey, we already got an international ID. It's got the little star on it. They want to take now all the information you spoke on earlier, health records, bank, everything like that, and put all that associated with your ID. And then when you don't do what you're supposed to do or be a good little socialist, they just hit a button and say, hey, Mr. Hambrick, you can't leave your house today. And if you do, you won't be able to buy nothing.
Right. Absolutely. That's going into the whole other weeds, and I want to go there. And on these data centers and things, a lot of people ask why they couldn't put them in the ocean. There are countries that are putting data centers in the ocean that use the tides to produce that force of energy that can actually propel these things. When we talk about going back to Trump and what we have going on right now, the technocrats that are sending the boxes of chocolates to Trump, Elon Musk, love Elon Musk to death. Elon Musk was able to build one of these data centers in Memphis, Tennessee in less than 2 years using I guess some sort of hydro motors, powered motors. And they were only supposed to use a certain amount, and they were using like triple the amount. And there's a lot of pollution, a lot of noise. This stuff's happening in every aspect of it, and it's taken over this conservatism. The conservatives now. It's because now that Donald Trump's in office, you can't say anything bad about what we're doing. You can't question what that movement is, and that's what really irks me, is that we should be so much more focused on humanity, yet based on politics is why people want to keep their mouths shut and pretend like it's no big deal. But before you know it, these things are going to be overrunning us like crazy. And that's such a sad way to be, is that you're going to choose party politics over what's right. And we see that happening in our water supplies. We see that happening in our communities all over the place. Like when I call Georgia the WEF state, I mean, they're literally going to pave this state down and put up, asphalt and buildings everywhere. Have been doing it for years.
Well, it's going to be turned into the WTF state.
Yeah, it certainly will. I mean,
one of the best places to be at to WTF. It's crazy, man.
And you want to talk about digital currency? You brought this up. A friend of mine, Gary Williams, sent this to me today, and I'll have to double check it, but I know that it's happening because we've seen several people in the internet talk about it. But Europe to replace passport stamps with biometric entry exit system starting in 2025. We knew this year that we found out this year you can't fly in a plane unless you have the little black star, the gold star on your ID. Phase 1 of digital ID is happening. Everything is going to be digitized, and it's happening in a very slow crawl to keep people. Well, it's like the frog in the pot thing. You don't want to do things too quickly. But again, we already know that China is well past this to this society where there are people probably just walking around like zombie NPCs. And now you have this revolution happening in Europe, where Europe is a huge push for digital ID right now. And now the biometric scanning for airports. I mean, people don't understand this. You may leave this country and be able to get away with not letting the TSA pat your crotch down or whatever. But when you show up on the other side, guess what? You will be forced to give them your biometric data before you can even enter the country. And this is the way it's going, and it all goes back to what you were talking about. It all goes back into the cloud. It all goes back into the hive. And what is the purpose for it? I mean, it's a little bit scary because we're on that precipice. We've been looking at Agenda 2030 for a long time. You look at COVID, what you were talking about. What are these boosters and these shots supposed to do to us? What has COVID done to us? I read an article last week about COVID alone that says that the way this virus works in your body, that it can lay dormant for several years and then all of a sudden be reactivated. Now, I didn't bring that up earlier to you, but if you're telling me that these boosters have these nanolipids, these nanoparticles that can be activated, right? Well, that kind of coincides with each other. We have no idea what we have in our bodies right now, or how it's going to be able to react.
I'm thinking as you talking, because I'm thinking about, I didn't get the jab. You didn't get the jab.
No.
But with the right boosters. Virus, which would be the baseline code to interact with the human body, we become in contact with different heavy metals and plastics and all kind of stuff, silicone all the time. What's to not think that these things could farm this stuff inside of the body and start? Because if you go back and take a look at what some of the claims of some of the science, big scientists like Robert Malone, they were saying that these things were self-assembling.
Right.
They
Well,
were self-assembling.
the
So
funny thing is, you bring up tinfoil hat, right? Look at all of the information that's coming out, even by our own government, even by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. right now, who is, I think, is doing a stellar job. But like, we know now, we know that everybody knows that COVID was done on purpose. There is not even a debate anymore. You said something like that a couple of years ago. Your show was shut down. Everything, you were communicating. We know that this was a pandemic, hands down. Regarded, what didn't start with somebody was slaughtering a dog in a wet market and brought it in the back, carried it over, and the Superman dropped it. We know it's a pandemic. So obviously this stuff was made in a scientific setting. It's an mRNA. It changes your DNA. It does all of these things. So how is it crazy for us to talk about some of these effects that people are finding out? How is it tinfoil hat to say, hey, these could contain some lipids and peptides and nanoparticles that can be activated by frequency? It makes perfect sense at the moment. And then you've got other countries like Japan and the Netherlands that are coming out with their own studies because they were way ahead of the curve when it wasn't okay to be ahead of the curve. So absolutely, if you knew this thing was a pandemic, then you must know that there's some sort of end game with it, right? Yeah. It's that simple. Why Trump? I guess he just ain't going to let Operation Warp Speed die. I don't know.
Yeah, he would not let it die. Hey, I got a booster, man. I was like, oh man, what is going on here?
I don't know. I mean, I worry. We've got some great things going on. Just changing up a little bit. Still we haven't even really seen an arrest yet. We're still waiting. Who knows what's going to happen to James Comey, the first in a long line. And I wouldn't even picked him first. There's so many other people that beat James Comey to the punch. But again, we're hopeful. We're in a government shutdown right now. And Derek Grayson released a really cool post earlier today. So many people get crazy about the shutdown. I think we all know by now that a government shutdown doesn't mean that they just closed the doors and everybody went home. Like, we know what this is. I know that we're getting some appointments done. There's a lot of speculation about Thomas Massey and his current petition he has going on. Who knows where we're going to be at, but I know we're in some good places, and of course we're in some bad places, and I guess we just got to keep praying that we make it out of this thing, So
we do. I mean, with everything that's happened, I pulled up something, and they're saying a sizable chunk of DC Drano is saying he hate to say it, but a sizable chunk of America is in a cold civil war.
It is. Very, very much so.
We won on both sides of the popular vote in fixing things a legal and legitimate way. But despite the Democrats, they have kept their old school American values and can accept not getting their way. He was saying not the moderate Democrats. They can't accept their not getting their way. But he said, but the far left in this country wants Marxism or blood.
Yeah. And I think it's go ahead, finish.
Now their Marxism infiltration is being defeated. They are resorting to terrorism and assassinations. Mm-hmm. So it only took a handful of people during the Bolshevik Revolution.
That's right.
I mean, you think about everything, it's a big culture war and the changing of the hearts and minds of people. But we are the majority, obviously, because we was able to make this thing too big to rig this last time around. But we got to keep moving. We got to keep trying and got to keep going at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I was so moved by Tucker Carlson's podcast the other day about the cities and just showing the reality. And he brought up a really good point about J.B. Pritzker. What an idiot for a governor. They call it the Windy City, not because it's wind, but it's just like the politicians change as the wind blows. I mean, it's literally one of the most corrupt cities in America, in the Midwest. It was one of the biggest mafia strongholds, you name it. Mm. But he brought up a good point about the Democrat Party. Completely, enraged that Donald Trump would want to bring the National Guard into the city of Chicago to stop the killing, but yet pointed out that the vast majority of the killing that's being done on the south and the west sides of Chicago, which I was born in the south side, which is a demilitarized zone now, the vast majority of killings in Chicago are happening in the poor black neighborhoods. Okay? Yet J.B. Pritzker decided to bring in the National Guard when they had the DNC convention there. Was it last year or the year before? So they wanted to protect all their rich Democrat donors that are going to show up to the DNC with the National Guard, yet you're going to let the minorities of your city just tell them, say, piss on you, just keep killing each other when you actually have a president who's trying to protect these suburbs and protect these people and show them a way out. And that to me is disgraceful. Disgraceful. How could anybody, whether you're black, white, brown, call yourself a Democrat when that kind of mentality? They don't give a crap whether you're killing yourself out in your own street.
Oh, no.
But no, they're going to protect all their little rich donors. And that really pisses me off. Brian Kemp, our governor, should have come out the other day with a statement telling J.B. Pritzker to get his fat bottom out of our state, down here wooing it up, raising money in Atlanta for the Democrats. They should have sent his butt packing back up there to Illinois. It's a disgrace.
They should have. Well, the government generally thrives off of broken things.
Yes.
They don't care if it's people. They don't care if it's a bridge, whatever. So they can come in and say, hey, we're the government. We're here to help. And they never really plan on. No. Just think about all the marginal stuff that they've done. Just to talk about Georgia legislature and the politics. You said it the other day. You said, hey, this was, I would think, the worst session ever in the history of Georgia since you've been paying attention to politics. They're not delivering anything to the people. They have no intention. It's like a big corporate horse trading meetup or whatever they're doing down there. It's like, what are the people really winning? We're not. Our taxes going up, Roy. You got high density housing going up all over the place. Data centers. People complaining about the water supply.
Warehouses taken over Savannah, for years now.
Yeah, and we understand that we want things to grow and to develop and everything. But this is not organic.
No.
I say it about Gwinnett County all the time. What we see happening is not organic.
Yeah.
It's just not. And if we had representation, Roy, real representation that listened to the will of the people, things would be so much different.
Don't bring up Hollywood. Hollywood's not in California anymore, folks. Hollywood is in Atlanta, Georgia. Think about the implications of the cesspool of Hollywood that we've come to know for generations, and know that it's right there in the city of Atlanta, and they're getting free tax abatement all over the place, whatever they want to do, and God only knows on the other side of that what happens down there. And I've become so disgusted with the whole. It's not stars and glitz and glamour anymore. It's a cesspool of drugs and sex and nasty other stuff that we can't say. I mean, and it's right here in our state. And it's like, who's making this push? And, again, we elect our commission boards, we elect our education boards, we elect these people, and then they are governed by unelected bureaucrats that are in positions made up by the state with your tax money to be the liaison between whatever power controls that state and them. And even though you elect these people and you demand certain things and you want things to be, they are being told what to do and being told how to pivot and how to point in another direction. And then if the push gets too hard, well, guess what? They have to say, oh, I can't. If I do this, they're going to arrest me. It's a joke right now. It's a joke. And we don't have near enough people standing up.
We don't. What they do, even with the school system.
Yeah.
It used to be a time where each city had control over their school system, and they took care of it. And all of a sudden, now the county does it. They just keep sending it further and further and further away from the people. Right. Now you got to go to this county meeting and take it. And I'm not saying that the county commission shouldn't exist.
Right.
But the more stuff that's been sent but first of all, you're expanding government out, in my opinion. And then for your voice to really get heard, you probably used to be able to go to your city superintendent, your city councilman, and they could get things worked out much faster. Now you got stuff where you consolidate power. They got to deal with so many more people,
Yeah.
and it's costing so much more money for the quality
That's right.
to go down. I mean, Beaufort got its own city schools, and it's doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why the rest of these cities, I know it probably would never roll back, but my point is, it's gotten worse by way of, oh, we gonna make a committee, or we gonna do this. Oh, we got the blue ribbon committee, we got this committee, we got that. And nothing's getting done.
Yeah.
Like you said, they're saying, oh, well, this person said they were gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I hear a committee, man, I'd be like, man.
It's like getting a paper cut on your thumb, but then wanting to sit down and talk with 4 people about how you got the paper cut. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Come on, man. We're not buying any of this crap anymore. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, and I don't know how we change it. I know, hey, Hank Sullivan, he's going to be on the show next Wednesday, that he has stood up and he's going to run for commissioner. I say bravo. We need more Hank Sullivans out there. We need more Senator Moores. We need more people who are not afraid to stand up. And right now I see a lot of people who are already running, and I'm just saying, you can get mad if you want. I'm not going to name names, but I don't see any kahunas. I just see people that are ready to fall in line with the status quo, and it makes me so mad. And then what does the support structure do? Well, we're just going to go with whatever they tell us. Okay. Yep. So really? So if Dooley wins the primary, which God forbid he does, you're just going to have to be like, well, we just got to take one for the team. I mean, I can't do that anymore. Antonio, I can't take it for the team.
I'm done too. They're gonna have to be believable for me, Roy.
Yeah. But believable, real, accountable. I mean,
Yeah.
So what else you got on your mind? And we'll go some comments here in a minute.
Man, let me see what else happened. That may have been it. I mean, the thing with Trump, we talked about it. The lipid nanoparticles. Oh, there's a doctor. I want to get this video. I'm probably gonna play it on my next show. Who literally has the cure for cancer? It was bladder cancer, but I think it's all cancer. And he's being blocked.
Mm-hmm.
He's being blocked. And there's an interview he was on, Megyn Kelly, and what they were trying to do is to try to get him to do a trial with somebody to where he's got to give him chemotherapy and his treatment at the same time. I don't see how chemo doesn't ruin his treatment, because chemo just kind of blasts all of your good cells out. Mm-hmm. So that would make his fail. But his treatment, I think, but has a north of 90% success rate.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that for a minute. Yep. But I know it's several different cancer treatments, but his specific, this guy's a billionaire. I've seen him on several different shows, and you guys may recognize him. I forgot his name, but I'm going to get the clip and make sure I pass that to Roy too, in case he wants to put it up or put it in the comments. But we need to raise the alarm about this, because there's so many people that are suffering with this that don't have to.
Right.
That don't have to. This man has the cure. He's been trying to get his get sped through, I guess, this process that they have to do to get approved. But the chemo was approved, he said, and it came out like a month ago. And they pretty much told him straight up, well, this is the way we do it. It's the way we've always done it. And basically kick rocks. But that's where we are. And this is where we are with RFK in there. I'm sure RFK probably hasn't had a chance to look at this, but I'm praying that he does.
Mm-hmm.
So many people that would have a lot of hope if this gentleman can get his therapy in. And it's a 100% safe too as well. So I'm happy about that part.
I'm happy that these conversations are going on. I'm happy for the Maha movement. I'm happy that so many people are looking into more natural, God-given, God-made, what am I trying to say here? The remedies to our sickness is not pharmaceutical oil based products, and of course that goes back to the food we eat. It's still kind of a slow go, but we're seeing that change. Who knows? Hopefully, in the next couple of years, we're going to see some vast changes in our food for the better, right? And get some of this poison that we have out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super
I'm
interested.
putting the link in the comments now because I don't want to forget, guys. So
yeah,
you guys can take a look at it when you get a chance and support this doctor. Please raise the alarm for this particular treatment for this guy. We've got to get this treatment to RFK. We've got to get it to him.
And I want to say I'm very hopeful, and I believe Charlie Kirk. I always said he didn't die in vain. This whole cat out of the bag with Israel, no matter where you stand on or what, no matter what's going on, I believe that a large part of this has been due to what's recently happened and the fact that we're sort of being able to expedite this whole Israel-Gaza peace deal. I am so hopeful because I do believe that President Trump ultimately wants peace. He's done it from the get-go. We've already seen what's happened this year in regards to Iran, other nations. I want this peace deal to go through. I want the killing to stop. I want Israel to remain a nation, a strong nation. I want to see the Palestinians be able to rebuild. I do believe in this two-state thing. I think everybody should have a place on this freaking earth, man. And the only way we're going to get that is to fix this. So I am hoping and praying that this is the first of this peace deal. And let's not forget, we still have not stopped the Ukraine-Russia war, despite all efforts. And now that's become a moot point. We have got to stop these wars. We've got to stop this killing. These Republican neocons, these Democrat warmongers, you're all a bunch of filthy animals. We do not want war. We do not want intervention. We want to stop color revolutionizing this world, and we want to work on America first. That's all that matters to me. Democrat warmongers, you're all a bunch of filthy.
I got a feedback there.
Not a problem. So yes, all right. So let's go through some comments here. We got Lisa Brown, Pierce in the house. Got a special I'll mention at the end. Dorothy Michelle, good to see you. Thank you. Carol Streeter, thank you. Denise Penley Owens, good to see you. Aaron Spears, wonderful to see you.
Yes.
We'll start with the comments here. Carol says, this is like Chris Carr posting about Burt Jones and telling people how corrupt he is. Maybe one of you can question people why Carr is just now trying to tell people about Burt. Why wait until now? See, all right. Yeah, let's marinate on that for a minute, right? It's politics as usual. It's the prime example of what's tried and true and what's worked. So you're just supposed to be stupid now and listen, and all these people can't stand each other because they're vying for the same position. So, it was all good a couple years ago and everybody was happy until all of a sudden they're running against each other, and now they're calling out all the things that we've been calling out. I mean, it's a joke.
They got new religion.
Yeah,
old religion.
I mean, how do you even take somebody seriously like that? I mean, what a total joke that man is. I'm not even going to get into Burt Jones. I mean, I can't help but just to watch my senator being assaulted while the guy that's running for governor right now that wants my vote, that will end up probably being the governor of this state.
The guy that want to be the senior law enforcement officer.
Just stood idly by and let it happen right there on film. And it's hard for me to take anybody seriously. So, Denise Penley Owens says, it's a clown show for sure, and that's being kind. Yes, ma'am. That is being kind. Aaron Spears says, I wasn't ever asked or consulted with about a contact where you, give the people what they want, paper balance. Yeah. I've said it 100 times. You take these people, you set them down. You could literally fix election security in 30 minutes. You go right there. You know how we meet at the stairs where Sam and Phil set up everybody? You'll put a couple of card tables and a few chairs out there, and you could just hand pick like 15 people and say, all right, sit down here's a whiteboard, here's some dry erase markers. I'm going to give you 30 minutes to solve this. And they'd probably have it solved in 15 minutes, and the whole dang thing would be over with. That's how simple it is, folks.
It would.
Okay, let's see here. Carol says y'all need to behave because they called you guys troublemakers. Yeah, we're enemies. We're
rabble rousers.
We're enemies of the state. We're just trying to burn it all down, y'all. They just want to burn down everything. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I've lost so much respect for people who I absolutely respected and cared at a time, what they thought, and would even run things by them, because of the things I was seeing. And I was always hand slapped. But it's like, thank you for freeing me of those chains, because now those people, like, it don't even bother me, like what they would think about me, or to think that I needed that sort of discernment from them. It's hilarious to me. Yeah, I'm just to burn it all down, Ugh.
You gonna cost them the 2026 election, Roy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh, don't get me started. This clown world. Sharon Holland, thank you for watching. David Naha, good to see you tonight.
Dave.
Yes. And Aaron Spears brings up a good point. She says selected positions, not elected positions, but it certainly looks like that, doesn't it?
Yep.
When you look at the layout and you look at all of the strategic positions, we're going to put you here and there and there. It's selected. I mean, really, we don't get much of a choice, I don't think. That's why it's important to vote your conscience in the primary. Absolutely. Let's see. Lisa Adams, I hope you're feeling better. Lisa's been under the weather. She's had a lot of health problems. And we're praying for you, Lisa. We're praying that that the doctors, that people can figure out what's wrong with you. I know that she has just been slammed through the ringer. So Aaron Spears says Dooley was on Fox. Haha. Yeah. Well, of course. I mean, he's got leadership money. Why wouldn't he be on Fox? I'm sure Kemp's writing checks every day to put Dooley up, billboards and everything else. I mean, that's his guy. Of course. Let's see. Lisa Adams, with a name like that, he ain't going anywhere. Curse from the get-go. I'm not sure. Oh, Dooley. Yeah, Dooley's not a real popular name, I don't think, in this state anymore, Oh, Lord, we'll get into some of that tomorrow night. Debbie, I don't even want to say her name. I don't want her on the show. I did notice that, I don't know, there's that one podcaster, Fredrickson, that was doing the Peach Crew. And
John Fredericks.
Yeah, that guy. And a while back we were talking about how, like, at some point this dude's going to clean up his Peach Crew a little bit, and so, like, there's a totally different panel now that's on the Peach Crew, like,
in order to survive, in the name of survival.
I'm like, your credibility is being hurt, dude. Like, you need to get that ankle biter off of that. Ain't nobody listening to that, So apparently he wised up, and I saw Jaquan Stembridge was going to be on there. So kudos to you, Jaquan. I hope you're doing well. Like to support our young people that have minds that can see what's going on, that can possibly change the status quo. Right? It's a good thing. Yeah. So let me come down. We got a lot of comments tonight. Aaron, Mafia style, right down to the country loves. When they say Dixie Mafia, they are not lying. I mean, seriously. I always thought that was just like a racist thing, because it said Dixie. But no, it's true. There's Dixie Mafia in the South, like big time. Yeah. All shapes and sizes and colors. So let's see here. Let's see. Dorothy Michelle says, "Hi, baby. I'm hanging in there just thinking about the reps, and they said they wanted paper ballots that asked to speak at our rally said they wanted." I think, let's see. Thinking about the reps said they wanted paper ballots. Yeah. Well, a lot of people say they do, but again, is that just a cool thing to say? Or, I mean, think about it. The GOP came out recently, right, with let's do a pilot program. So to me, that's a little bit of admission that, hey, we're on to something, right? The GOP is entertaining this. Then you got the Blue Ribbon Committee asking the question. So it's like, what do you have to beat around the bush here? Why are we beating around the bush? If you guys are even going into that territory, we've had people on the ground that's just ready to go. Why? It makes
Marginal. No, don't plan to do anything.
It
That's
just
that's the answer.
it's such weak looking, so weak.
Eat around the edges. Don't want to make the governor mad.
Yep. Charles Stoker, he put a Facebook link up there. You might watch it. It could be spam. No, I'm just kidding, Charles.
Let me see what's Charles at.
Let's see here. Trish Ann Hay, good to see you, says liberty requires eternal vigilance. And don't it? Gosh, what was that phrase Antonio said? Congratulations on your constitutional republic or whatever, if you can keep it.
Yep.
And that's where we're at. I mean, we're on.
If you can keep it.
Lisa says, why are the higher-ups not as upset as we about these data centers? Well, I didn't even get into what all the governor decided to block or how many backroom, meetings they had about keeping it on the hush-hush. I would guesstimate everybody's got something to make off of these things. If that's, follow the money. That's what I would say. A lot of people don't care, they got that money and they got that little spot and they're like, well, this is not going to affect me,
Mm-hmm.
Dorothy says the distractions are not a coincidence. I find it harder and harder to believe in coincidence anymore, really.
Yeah.
Carol Streeter, I personally know 5 people who were very active working out and 4 died of brain bleeds and 1 was airlifted to Florida and he survived. Remember that I am in rural Marion County, Georgia, so I believe she might be referring to the jabs. So, and of course, Lisa says her body's never been the same since she had COVID, and that's so many people say that.
Yep, I'm better, but I'm probably in a 90 percentile.
Sure,
I'm much better than I was, so I know exactly what she means.
Yeah, you ever seen the movie Minority Report?
I don't think I have.
That's a good one to check out. It was based on a Philip K. Dick book. And Philip K. Dick, if you ever heard of the stories Total Recall, and he wrote a bunch of futuristic books like back in the 50s and 60s. Like he was one of those kind of acid droppers, and he wrote all these crazy short stories. But you need to watch the movie Minority Report. It is it's very telling about the future, how it's called pre-crime, how they use these humans that are like transhumans, and they put them in this floating stuff like you see, and they can visualize a crime before it happens, so people can be arrested before they actually commit it. It's crazy, crazy. Speaking of movies, I don't know if you've seen the movie Frequency. I think it's called No, it's not called Frequency, but it's got John Cusack in it. It's based on a Stephen King short story. It's about these people that this frequency. Cell phone tower, and they emit this frequency that when somebody answers the telephone, they automatically, it's like scrambles their brain and they turn into a zombie.
Gotcha.
And it's a whole movie about that, and it's a very crazy
like they're trying to do to us now.
Yes, I will find out, but hey, they love telling us the future. I'm just saying that's a little.
They do.
But
people
again,
thought the Matrix was a joke, but here we are.
I just happened to see it one day, and I was like, "Holy moly!" And okay, so let's see here. Lisa's talking about the data centers. Yeah, I hope Lee did a great segment on War Room the other day, and I don't know what I got to do. I'm gonna have to send Lee a box of chocolates. I got to get him on the show, and we got to put our information together. I got so much to release on that. But yeah, we don't. That's something we need to keep fighting, folks, because they haven't even pushed the gas pedal on it yet, but it's coming. So. Let's see here. Denise Penley Owens says, I think they're already controlling some because there's no way any normal person can act like what we are seeing. Yeah, well, that's very true.
No doubt.
Did you see that? Was it governor candidate the other day of California? This crazy woman. I'm talking about nuts.
I ain't seen her yet. I just heard about her.
Oh, my God. She was on like one of the national news shows on there talking about how atrocious as it was because her 12-year-old broke down in tears when Donald Trump got elected and was saying, Mom, I'm so scared. What if I can't get an abortion? a
Oh,
12-year-old girl, and she's trying to console her over an abortion. And I said, "Oh my God, you're on public television saying this nasty crap." Like, I'm at a loss for words. You want to talk about how idiotic people are, how nasty and crazy people are.
talk about crazy time.
It's ridiculous. Oh, Noreen Canner. Hey, Noreen.
Doreen.
Let's see here. I'm going to skip down a little bit. Oh, Marionette Munoz Collier. Hello, I'm watching from Hollywood, Florida right now. Well, thank you for watching from Florida. That is freaking awesome. Christina Benjamin, thank you for being here. She says, is it true that on the 15th and the 30th is when government employees get paid? I think it is, to be honest with you. I think the government employees usually only get paid twice a month. So, yes. And, of course, yeah. So, let's see. Linda Mink, good to see you, Linda. She lists Ray Garland, Monaco, James, Judge Ergeron, Comey. Yeah. I mean, I would have went straight for Hillary Clinton. I mean, I'd have been like, yo, we got plenty on you. Let's go. But
oh yeah,
again. Oh, look, Charles says T-Mott, you gonna have T-Mott on the show?
Yeah, I talked to him about doing it Wednesday.
That's
so
wonderful.
I'm looking to have him, and hadn't decided who else yet.
Yes, that's awesome. T-Mott is great. Charles Stoker has a big long post about control of Congress through blackmail, bribery, threats of violence. Yes, perverted movie industry, the media. You know, yes. Thank you. Majority owners of the military-industrial complex. Yeah, Charles, you got that's a mouthful right there, but you're not wrong.
The evangelical churches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, what did the FARA, you know, Ian Carroll released the FARA documents where, you know, Israel is going, they're spying on Christianity. They're putting in millions of dollars to try to influence Christian churches to, you know, I mean, like, what? Why do you even need to do that? What are you talking about? Like, we're judging people by the fruits of their labor. Why you got to pay these millions of dollars to make everybody like you? That I don't get it. But it's happening.
Yep.
So Dorothy says we won't get unless we destroy all Dominion machines. I'm all for it. Whatever you want to call them. If you want to call them Fruit of the Loop, you know, Patriot 2 machines, destroy them. Put them in the trash. Carol says, hey everyone, I hope to meet all of you one day. I'm sitting here in rural Tazewell, Georgia, and I'm the only person that speaks up and out. The politicians hate to see me coming.
Miss Carol.
Yeah, Carol's great, man. Oh, yeah, Trish Ann Hay brings up Steve Brown is running for mayor of Peachtree City. I can't vote for the evil devils. So, you know, I wouldn't mind getting Steve on. You know, he had some really good podcasts, and I agree with a whole lot of stuff that he's doing. Maybe we can get Steve hooked up and see if we can. I mean, he seems like he's on the level, man. He, you know, we maybe we can help him out down there because we need all the good people we can get.
Yeah.
And there's a request from Christina, says, please consider having Merritt Yavena back on soon for you at War Room.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I saw that. To talk about trying to keep these monkey farms out of these monkey testing labs out of their area.
Yes.
What county it is.
So, yes, Christina Benjamin said, I voted for Lee Munns. I really like Lee. I mean, like, he seems pretty genuine to me. Like, it's not, look, I know we could go on forever. Look, I think that we obviously should keep Republican PSCs, but also, you know, they've been in there for a long time, and our power bills continue to rise, and we got data centers, and every time you try to ask somebody about this stuff, they just kind of give you the cold shoulder. They can't talk to you, you know, and you know, you could sit there and say that Lee Munns is just on this trip because he didn't win, but no, I think there's some genuine questions being asked there. You know, he's not out here just saying down with the data centers, and I don't think any of us are. I understand what they are. I understand technology, again, but when you lay all the facts out and you look at what your own state government has been trying to block concerning this or the information, it doesn't add up. There is no balance here. This is an overrun of data centers, and it needs to be pointed out. And I think Lee's doing a great job. So
he is. He's putting the facts up. That's what we're
Yes.
interested in.
Oh, they hate facts, don't they? They
Oh, yeah.
hate it when you talk about it. They're like, y'all just need to get in the back of the truck and just take these data centers, because that's what we're going to do. And we'll, get in my big white truck and we'll give you data centers. I don't want your data centers. I don't want your stupid casinos. I want property taxes completely dissolved. I want these stupid SPLOST taxes and these income taxes. And I want real jobs for real people. I don't want subsidized jobs for foreign entities who don't know how to fill out their visas right. Okay. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's the H-1Bs the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the legal aliens we got running around here.
Oh God. So
me and Lisa from the Gwinnett Accountability Project did the numbers on what it would take if you put 10 illegal aliens through school through 12th grade. You're talking about $2.1 million for 10 students to run them from the beginning. That's just for school now. Forget the health care. If they need food, forget all that now.
Just for school.
Just for school.
Now
10 kids.
You tell me it's not a money game, right? So we've had this. Again, we take responsibility. It's our government who's allowed our borders to be open and all of these people to come into this nation, right? Yet, again, I'll bring up this same example I brought up, I think, the other day. This poor 18-year-old girl who was illegal in this country, and she gets pulled over on the left hand, and she gets put in jail, and she is illegal, okay? Yet she is enrolled in the local college, and the local college knows that she's illegal, and the local college even charges her out-of-state tuition because that's the rules. Well, you're technically not legal, so you got to pay me more money. We got these institutions that allow the banks to create these accounts with no Social Security. Our whole society is allowing illegal people to thrive in this nation. What would make me, if I were living in a country like that, I would be one of those people that cross the border for a better life and this and that and the other. The problem is we've allowed, based on money and influence, all of these things to happen in the breakdown of society. Is they can do whatever they want to until they get caught. So of course they can make a life. We should have never been able to get these things, healthcare and banks and schools, because they should have never been allowed to do it in the first place. And that's on us as a society. If we don't stop this bleeding, it will never stop. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. I'm not sitting here pounding my fist saying we shouldn't have a heart. Are you kidding me? I've worked with illegals before that I would call brothers. But I also know that if a friend of mine's got a warrant for his arrest, that doesn't change the fact that he's got to go down to the jail and take care of it, man. If you're illegal, you're illegal. That's all there is to it. Doesn't mean I don't have a heart or humanity, but we've made it too easy for everybody based on the fact that they got to give them that money. It's a sham, dude. It's a shame.
All right, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and announce it now. Lisa Adams, I need you to put the promo out. We're gonna have an illegal alien party at Roy House tomorrow.
Hey, man, like I said, I have to, we have to clean. It's bottom line, dude. You know this. We got to clean up our own house. It's America first. It's not any other country first. It's not a partnership. It is our soil, our country, our people, our cities, our towns, our technology, our food, everything. We got to focus on us, man. That's all there is to it. You want to color revolutionize something? Well, why don't you color revolutionize some of these states by helping bring these up instead of moving all of our factories to the south? Put them in right across the border in Mexico, where these people are still living in dilapidated housing and they've got no running water. Why aren't we taking money we use for war and helping other countries to build up, put plumbing in, put schools in, and people won't want to leave their own countries? You know,
Yeah,
I don't
it's true.
understand that. Jeez, man.
Yep.
Okay, so we got a new question, and we'll just do this one because this one's from Rumble. Thank you for we got a question from Rumble. Question:
Right, Rumble.
I'm looking at how much money our school board has increased spending. This increases property taxes, but I'm learning they get around 30% of their revenue from our local property taxes. Yeah, that's true. Yes, the whole point of your property tax is to fund the school systems. I mean, that's what the whole syntax is. You're getting that money, and of course they keep increasing because they keep saying they need the money, and there's supposed to be a partnership between the state. And I can't think of the word they use, but he continues on. They get 60% from the state, rest from federal. If Georgia ends income tax, how will they be funded? Spike our property taxes, ultimately all of our dollars, and I think the system we have is so broke it needs to go. So you bring up a good point. And no, I believe that, well, we obviously can't get into this tonight. And look, property taxes, income tax, the tax system is a complete farce. We've been lied to, gaslit over the entire thing. There's a much better way to do it. I'm not 100% against taxes like I want to be. I could compromise with a flat tax, but there's so much more that goes into all of these institutions than just taxes alone. Yet, at the end of the day, those are what continue to rise, right? Now, it's ludicrous, in my opinion, to even be focused on doing away with income taxes before you do away with property taxes. But that's the bait and switch. That's like the Snickers bar that they'll throw up in front of you because it's a lot easier to do away with an income tax. But again, no, property taxes are the worst. And yes, the school systems get your property taxes. And man, there's a whole can of worms we could open up with there. But no, I guarantee you, whoever you are, if you want to text me individually, there is about a 13-minute video that we did with, I can't even think of his name now, the guy that was running in Alpharetta. Anyway, I interviewed him on the show, but he had an 11 or 13-minute video that I found so intriguing, how to fix the tax problem, and it's really, really, really simple.
Oh, was it Brian Will?
Yes, Brian Will.
Okay, yeah.
All right. And it was very simple. And basically what it was you start your budgets every year at net zero, and you balance the damn budget. It's that simple. You stop with all this rolling over of money and increase. It's very, very simple. And in a state like Georgia with an $18 billion surplus, it can be done so easily. But yet you're dealing with bureaucratic BS and the fact that they've already got you wrangled in. So, and there's more to it. But Stacy Dorn, that's Stacy Dorn, which is one of my heroes. Stacy, girl,
Stacey,
I'm gonna call you out right now. You should be on the show with us. You should. I'm telling you, you are right as rain. Stacy's been hitting it hard, y'all. I'm telling you, if you're not following Stacy Dorn, you need to be. She is, she's on fire. She knows what's up. We've got serious problems with our tax revenues, our state property taxes, our income taxes. Man, just to mention a few, but yeah, serious problems. I could go on, but we're already at an hour 40. Thank you, Stacy. It's always good to hear from you. Love your content. So one of these days, we're going to get her on the show. If we had 50 Stacy Dorns in the state of Georgia in the legislature, I guarantee you this stuff would be fixed in less than a month. Every single thing we're dealing with would be fixed. And those are the kind of people that we need. All right?
Yep.
Whew. That just makes me happy that was her. That's wonderful. So, yeah, serious problems with their income tax, all right? Serious problems. But anyway, we're going to have to go. It's already in an hour 40. I've really enjoyed it tonight, man. I'd like to do this once a month. You know?
We got a little, I guess it ain't tinfoil hat no more. like
No,
you said, it's
it's not.
everything that came to reality,
Yeah, it
most
is.
of it. So
And guys, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're just down here
yeah,
running our mouth. Look, neither one of us have sponsors. We're just doing this. You need to go over and support War Room. Go over and check out his Cash App. Show him some love and support. I wish y'all would check out my website and buy a couple of T-shirts now. I did sell one this week. That was awesome, but it's about to start costing me money to keep it. So if I can't get any of them sold, man, I'm going to have to let that one go. You know what I mean? I ain't that big, but
man,
anyway,
we trying.
we're
Well,
trying.
maybe because I had an idea. Matter of fact, I guess I'll show this on your show first. So I found some clocks or whatever. I want to start doing, I guess, maybe like some $10 live raffles or something. Just trying to get creative
That'll work.
or what have you. Maybe do some Cash App and maybe do a drawing or something live on the show.
Absolutely.
Maybe the bottom of the second hour or something. Because I got a handful of these things, so I'm just trying to think of some creative ways. And what I'm intending to do is, how we do our shows, Roy, and then maybe we get like a clip or something like that, because I want to take some of the most important content of the day, like it's Lee Munns with the data centers. It's right now we got eSplosh going on.
Yes.
And those videos are doing great. But I would like to take some of those funds and do like boosts and stuff on Facebook with the money.
Yeah.
So I will be using the money for things like that or whatever the case may be. So guys, if you could, Wednesday, make sure you join us for the show. And then, if you can make a donation of a $10 Cash App, and if you do more than one, then we'll put your name in the hat more than one time. Kind of got this idea from Roy because they did a raffle for the guitar the other week when they did the Patriot Camp Out. And then so I bought like 5 tickets or whatever, and I was going to buy something anyway. So I just went ahead and did the raffle. Yeah. But that would be a way that you can support War Room. And definitely with Roy, whatever he's got on, guys, buy a T-shirt or just do whatever you can, $5-10, to his podcast, because there are a few incidental expenses that we have that might be incurred, when we're traveling. We still going to do these things, but it just makes the lift for us on some levels a little bit lighter.
That's true. And I want you to know, too, I can buy the shirts and get them sent straight to your address. I did that for Sharon Secklinger this week. That was pretty cool. The shirt still, she paid me the money. The shirt goes directly to her house. I can do that from here. I want to send a special shout out to Bill Rainey because I went to Rome this morning and picked up. I had a stickers designed, and he wasn't able to get them to me for the camp out, but I've got like these whole big sheets of these stickers, and they're freaking. You know what? Hang on, look, I think I can show it. Hang on.
All right.
So he gave them to me in the sheets, but check this out. So.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's some awesome Small Town Underground stickers. Of course, I had to be at a function, but I plan on trying to sell them $1 a piece, and he got some bigger ones. So. I just love doing it. I hate asking for money, but if I can give somebody something at the same time, that's what it's all about. But I can get y'all shirts. You just hit me up, and I can actually order the size and the color you want. And I have shirts live too, but I don't know when any next event will be. But again, every little bit helps.
Yep.
So I might as well go ahead and tell y'all we got a special tomorrow night. Angela Rubino and Lisa Pierce is going to be with me here around 8:30. We're going to kind of cover a recap of everything that's going on with the GOP and the letter and the recent, revelation that McCoon has been cleared, and then the RNC didn't really do any investigations, and we're gonna fold all this stuff up and let these ladies speak. That's been working hard. There's a lot of misinformation out there, like there's some sort of conspiracy against the GOP and all this stuff, and I felt like it was time we did a really focused show on just, because there's a large portion of people that were disenfranchised from the GOP convention and feel like they're disenfranchised from the Republican Party. And, it's important to remember that going into 26, because I'm not seeing a bunch of good candidates right now, y'all. And the ones that are leading the pack seem to be some of the weakest people. And they continue to ignore people like us. They don't want to answer our questions. They don't want to hear what we have to say. And, I'm not going to go down just silent. So But that'll come up tomorrow night at 8:30. And Antonio, you got anything else, brother?
That's it.
Okay.
We'll be trying to set up the interview Derek Grayson this coming Wednesday on War Room. And also, if you guys are activists or subject matter experts and you want to join the show at any point to let people know what's going on, that'll be great. We'll love to have you. Secondly, if you notice during the last couple of shows, we aired Roy's public service announcement that him and Jerry put together about the Chinese land or whatever. So if you guys ever have any public service announcements, maybe something going on in your county, and you're just trying to get people to rally behind it, let me know. We'll get those things played. My platform or our platform is your platform. Yeah. And that's the reason why we do it. We're trying to amplify other people's voices. So hopefully we can grow this movement to make a difference.
Yeah, we'll have an update on that too, because Tanya Sozia has reached out to me about changing that up a little bit where we can become more effective and get away from the petition that we're using now. So I look forward to speaking with her in the future. Very smart woman, and she's going to help us elevate that somewhat.
Okay. When y'all get the update, just send it to me and we'll get it. We'll add it right into the rotation.
Yeah. And shout out to all the podcasters out there, all the people that are working their tails off to just bring information and the truth, especially all the local ones. Don't give up. Keep going. We got a heck of a battle ahead of us, and we're gonna win. So, all right, that's it. I'm going to play the little commercial out. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Antonio, it's been an absolute blast as always.
Always. Thank you. Much love to the small town underground crowd.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.